I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space. My intention here with the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck is to offer support to grieve the mother you want so you can accept the one you have. Hi, I'm Tammy Taylor, the inventor and reader of the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. Anyone can become a reader. You can receive the readings obviously here, but also at greatmotherspeaks.info where my coaching work is displayed there. I specialize in mama drama trauma, a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases where she's unable, unwilling, or unavailable, sometimes she has simply transitioned to heal her own MDT. It is a cycle. Then loving detachment is required. Loving detachment is accepting what is, the mother that we have. So these readings, the intention is all about working with Great Mother lunar energy, the Holy Spirit, that still small voice, our intuition, our soul downloads, that balsamic moon that comes right before the new moon, working with that sense of ourselves, that spirit before we came into form, that made that soul contract with that soul that loves us enough to assist us in MDT's purpose. What is the purpose of having mama drama trauma? To evolve in self-love and spiritual independence. Now, grieving, now that is the process of letting go, is the process of releasing the toxic emotions in MDT of shame, blame, and guilt that perpetuated generation after generation. So that's my intention, is to support individuals in releasing those emotions in order for us to embrace our divinity identity. And if you've been listening and watching for a while, you know that in my coaching work here and individually, we work on our divinity, which is claiming we are dearly loved children of the great Mother, Father, God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. We're never judged or condemned. There are consequences for our actions. We do live in the physical realm. There are consequences. Good. We can perceive them as good. We can perceive them as bad. But karma is simply action. And for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, but never judgment or condemnation. We are here to evolve. And with MDT, that's evolving in self-love and spiritual independence. So this Aquarius Pisces new moon is about cultivating clear boundaries. Now that sounds strange with Piscean energy, and its ruler planet in the western of Neptune right there in Pisces. But it's about that because of that very reason. You know, we have a lot going on with Mercury in Pisces as well. So the communicative downloads from high up are really wanting us to be clear on what is and is not important to you moving forward in your healing process. What is and is not okay with you in a life beyond MDT. There is life beyond MDT. I'm a witness. I have clients who are witnesses. There is life beyond mama drama trauma. And so what is and what is not okay with you now in that life you envision beyond MDT? Great Mother in this new moon wants you to be clear about what you are willing and able to give to relationships and situations in the next phase of your life. And so right now we are finally closing out an era of a nodal season, entering a new one, and that energy finally feels like a door is opening up. And so we're all in this kind of phase of anticipation. And as we are anticipating, Great Mother wants us to get in touch within and be clear about what we are willing and able to give to relationships and situations as we transition into this new phase. She wants us to do this by assessing the value. Assess your own value of your gifts, talents, abilities, time, space, and attention you give to things, and how you expend or use your resources, your gifts, talents, abilities. These are the unseen. These are the spiritual. These are the non-material resources that create all things. This is the Great Mother energy. She wants you to look and value your resources, your gifts, talents, abilities, your time, your space, your attention. How are you using them? How are you expending them to be healthy, happy, and whole? How are you using your resources to embrace your birthright? Remember, you can have $100, you can have $1,000, you can have $1,000,000, but if you don't put it to use, even if it's just to earn interest, it is as if you don't have it at all. So evaluation and inventorying all of this is supported with the energies of this new moon, as Great Mother brings a more balanced sense of self through this process, while Great Father activates our birthright to experience divinity as members of humanity. Remember, new moons, both the sun and the moon are in the same sign. And so we have this Aquarius Pisces energy that's really supporting a more balanced sense of self, a more real sized, a more real time sense of self with that Great Father, that solar, that material sense of ourselves to be activated in a life of health, happiness, and wholeness as part of humanity, owning that divinity identity as a living being in the world. So this Aquarius Pisces new moon kicks off a buildup until the July 2nd total solar eclipse. This is the beginning of that phase that builds up to that climactic total solar eclipse we have on July 2nd. So from now, with the Western Earth egocentric emotional moon in Pisces and Aquarius, the Vedic soul sign, and which precedes your Western moon sign by 24 degrees and is cosmologically correct based on the actual location of the stars in the sky and on the moon. Vedic astrology, Jyotish astrology, sidereal astrology is a lunar astrology. This Aquarius new moon is in the nakshatra of Shatabisha. It means 100 doctors. So we're talking about transitioning into conscious healing. It is in the beautiful stellar constellation that is also named 1,000 stars. It's kind of cloudy, It's so abundant with stars. And it's also called 1,000 flowers. It's a very beautiful constellation. It deals with healing. It deals with the challenges of healing. It deals with individuals who can heal, that are born under this nakshatra, that have challenges with cloudiness, placing boundaries, between themselves and others, internally and externally. Maybe some of those things that come up in your spread. But since November, your Vedic and Western moon signs have shared the same nodal or evolutionary houses when the nodal shift from Leo Aquarius to Cancer Capricorn in Western astrology aligned with Rahu and Ketu in the Vedic. So since November, we have shared the same nodes. However, this new moon marks Rahu and Ketu's entry into Gemini Sagittarius, the preceding house signaling the soul's intent to dive deeper into the emotional processing that it has been doing over the last 18 to 24 months and is ready to live by, through us, as us. So since November, we've actually had our nodes sharing the same energy, but now at this new moon, the Vedic has shifted to Gemini North Node. So this new spiritual foundation is fertile. Great Mother's guidance, this reading, therefore, supports the planting of seeds from this emotional harvest that are good, strong, and resilient enough to do the deep evolutionary work of this nodal season. Whatever we plant will surely grow. So we want to be really clear about what we are planting. So now into July, these readings will specifically support your process of reducing, abbreviating, and digesting your identification with MDT as a way of life. The critical 29-degree marker signals birth of what the soul has been processing over the last 22 months or so in your Vedic moon, with Jupiter at 29 degrees in Scorpio and Pluto at 29 degrees in Sagittarius. Emotionally, in the Western astrology, Mercury is in Pisces 29 degrees. It will be moving into Aries soon, very soon, but we have Uranus also 29 degrees at the onset of this new moon. That is, by the end of the new moon, will be in Taurus, where it will remain until 2020. So since your moon is cosmically syncing or ego soul aligning, it's best to approach this new moon as an extended balsamic moon phase for the entire lunar cycle. As far as MDT is concerned, plant wishes that seed your intention to consciously and completely release, remove, and withdraw from MDT identity, the shame, the blame, the guilt. Because following the July 2nd total eclipse, the cosmic calculus points to increased support to experience our divinity identity. So now is the time to consciously develop our abilities to distill our intentions for our personal benefit moving forward. Okay, so this is the contraction and extraction happening in 2019 I spoke of at the January eclipses, and will return to as we arrive at pivotal points throughout the year. The contraction is all about the lessening, the clarification that we're going through right now to just really distill those intentions, really get clear about our gifts, talents, and abilities, and how we want to use them and interact internally with ourselves as we relate to those things and how we evaluate them, and then with the world. And the extraction after July 2nd, the second half of the year, really benefiting from the work that we've done the earlier part of this year to move forward in the big 2020, lots in 2020. And so 2019 is the contraction extraction preparation period. Now, as this newly tilled soil lies fallow for this lunar cycle, we are integrating emotional information from the past with the help of Venus and Aquarius and Mars and Taurus in the Western. So simultaneously, we are taking a beat to contract essential intuitive wisdom with the support of these same signs in Aquarius and Aries in the Vedic. You know, there's some go-between there, but energetically, we have, all of this fallow soil that is coming at the end and the beginning of the wheel here. So let's look at how this may be playing out for you this March, Aquarius, Pisces, new moon on the 6th, 7th. Gemini, Cancer, moon sign people, this is ninth house energy for you, this Aquarius, Pisces, new moon. Remember that all new moon wishes are based on the Western moon sign. So this would be Pisces new moon wishes. They are made from the emotional side of our lunar astrology. Of course, the ego is wanting to align with the soul and seeking those supportive energies to do that throughout that lunar cycle. And so as Great Mother is encouraging us to extend the balsamic energy, this one, what's coming up for you in your significative position, Gemini, Cancer, moon sign people, is Akhenaten. This is the law of mystery and divine order. All law cards are Great Father cards. Great Father's the law, the word, the logos, Oz, and the Wizard of Oz. Now, this law card is a Yang card with root chakra energy here in the third quarter moon, release, letting go. Of course, we want to let go of the mother we want in order to accept the one that we have. So, Great Mother is guiding you this particular lunar cycle to really do the internal work of consciously grounding yourself in the reality of the mother that you have, who she is and why she is the way that she is. We cannot give what we do not have. And when we have a mother who has not received the love that she needs as a child, remember MDT is a cycle, then she certainly doesn't have it to give to us. She just doesn't have it. If we have a mother who has not received the understanding, the nurturance, the compassion that she's needed, she just doesn't have it. Okay, and maybe you don't have it as a mother to give to your child, which is why you're here. That's always a great motivator to do the work of healing MDT, which is about the releasing of the mother that we want, to accept the one that we have. Great Mother is encouraging you to really focus on that with regard to the law of mystery and divine order. It's a mystery to us until we come to greatmotherspeaks.info and we learn from Great Mother, the mother of all mothers, the Holy Spirit, that Mama Drama Trauma is a soul contract. It is a soul contract between two souls who love each other so intensely that one is willing to watch the other suffer, or both together, codependently, for a while, to force the evolution in self-love and spiritual independence. It's a mystery until we understand that. And the mystery is revisited over and over again until the intellectual knowing becomes the internal acceptance. So this third quarter energy of release is a very powerful indicator that you are receiving the support that you need at this time to do it. With this root chakra, we're talking chakras, we're talking Vedic astrology. The root chakra is ruled by Saturn, which rules Aquarius, which is where the new moon is in the Vedic astrology. That's ninth house energy for you. That typically ninth house is long distance travel, higher learning. It has to do with our spirituality, but it also really has to do with our guru, our teacher. And so internal guru, your inner guru, internal long distance travel, astral travel, those waking dreams, those sleeping dreams, that imaginative space where you download the information that you need to take action from, is what Great Mother is encouraging you focus from on a soul level. That soul contract, this Aquarius new moon, that associates you with that Gemini energy in your moon sign. You want to check the links below to confirm you may be Cancer in both your Vedic. Check and see which moon sign video resonates best with you. But for those of you typically with this Gemini moon sign in the Vedic, what's bringing this up for you is root chakra, waxing gibbous moon energy. And what's bringing up this need to align with the law of mystery and divine order is rage. There's a lot of suppressed anger that you have around this issue of MDT. There's anger about what you know about MDT not being honored, not being listened to, or in some way being taken away by others. In other words, you may have shared this information as Dorothy is pleading with Aunt M not to allow Miss Gulch to take Toto, who symbolizes her intuition. And Miss Aunt M has heard her, but she's powerless. She can't do anything, just like everyone is. Everyone's powerless to do anything about our MDT contract. It's a contract that we've already made. It's a soul contract. And so the people that we're angry with, who couldn't protect us, who didn't save us from it, whatever, they couldn't. Aunt M, in fact, says, Dorothy, we cannot go against the law. Miss Gulch had connections. We cannot go against the law. And so we cannot go against the law. This is an issue that we have to deal with. And you're upset about that. What's bringing this up, the law of mystery and divine order that Great Mother is saying that you deal with the mother that you have, is that you do have a mother who has made a soul contract with you, and you are mad about the soul contract, to make it real plain. Now, in your shadow position is Jupiter crescent moon energy, and this is saying that even though you're upset about it, you don't realize to what degree this rage has created a kind of victim mentality in your life. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. I'm talking Vedic astrology, okay, because we're talking chakras. And so this new moon is when the South Node transitions from Capricorn into Sagittarius.
which is your 7th house. This deals with relationships, not maternal relationships in particular, but contracts. And so on a soul level, we have had relationships with our mothers that they may have been our husband in a past life, a child, a co-worker, a boss. Okay, our mother in another lifetime, very likely. MDT happens over many lifetimes until it's healed typically. And so on a soul level, with the South Node, this release with Sagittarius, this Jupiter energy, crescent moon energy, it's shining a light on this feeling of victimhood that may be occurring as a part of this cyclical kind of triggering of this issue of MDT, this mystery. But now that you've gotten in touch with Great Mother Speaks, you know that it's a soul contract. You still may be upset about it, but in your shadow position, you need to recognize that what you're not seeing is that this rage is creating a kind of a victim situation where you're not going to be able to fully release this relationship, this contract, until you own it. What you want is to own it. The Moses card is gut chakra, first quarter moon card. First quarter moon is making a decision to face a challenge. That's first quarter moon energy. And gut chakra is processing. So you're wanting to face the challenge of processing this. So it's not that, you don't want to see it. It's just that for whatever reason, you don't see the impact that the rage has on creating this victim type situation. And you're ready to process that. You're ready to live and align with the law. And the law is ego soul alignment. You do want to do that. This is the scene when Dorothy is being awarded by the mayor of Munchkin Land for killing the Wicked Witch of the East. And so you want to kill your MDT identity of shame, blame, and guilt. That's what you want. And in the position of what's supporting you to do that is Tara. Tara is the centering card. Tara is the scene when Glinda returns to the land of Oz and directs Dorothy to click her heels 3 times, body, mind, and soul, to return home. So that third eye energy is supporting you. That intuitive energy is supporting you. That download that we're seeing with this moon. The third eye is ruled by the moon. This Aquarius in the Vedic and Pisces in the Western moon is really supporting you to center yourself. This waning gibbous energy of sharing and thanksgiving and gratitude for your journey. This is what's assisting you to learn to live the law. Okay, although there may be some upset, yes, and there may, in fact, yes, as a result of that, be some issues of victimhood that you're not quite creating the life that you want at this particular time. Because of that, yes, but you've recognized it enough to desire alignment, and body, mind, and soul, click, click, click. Great Mother is telling you, continue with your work and trusting your intuition, and you are going to move from the instinctive to the intuitive. Your present state of ego soul alignment is Rhiannon. You're not quite sure whether or not that's going to come through. Well, Great Mother's just confirmed it will come through for you during this lunar cycle as you do the work of accepting the law of mystery and divine order. It is a mystery to the entire process for all of us. Yes, it is a process, and yes, there are steps that we cycle through and that we go through as a natural matter of course of healing this particular psychosis, this particular trauma, this particular diagnosis that has been channeled to me and that I have worked dozens of people with, and there are a few people who actually are living MDT free at this time as a result. So I think that we can safely say that the law of mystery and divine order is something that we all have to work with ultimately. But with your present status of self-doubt being second chakra, first quarter moon energy, again, this first quarter moon energy, it's saying that yes, although that you may still have some doubts about this process, you have received the confirmation. And as you move forward, the second chakra energy, second chakra is Jupiter. Okay, it rules Sagittarius again in Pisces. Now, Jupiter for you is in your second house. Speaking of Jupiter, now we had Jupiter with the victim card too, but we talked about the Sagittarius with that South Node releasing that victimhood. Here, we're also talking about releasing self-doubt with that seventh house energy as well, that self-doubt about how you are connecting with that soul contract and accepting that soul contract. But I think here, since we're always talking about this scene with Dorothy when she receives the reading from Oz, who symbolizes Great Father, that solar energy, second chakra with Jupiter in Jupiter Sagittarius would be Vedic. Sagittarius is where Jupiter is in the Western. I'm just thinking about this Sagittarius, and so it would have to be Sagittarius with the Vedic. It has to be releasing this self-doubt. By releasing the self-doubt, you're going to release the victimhood. Okay, so releasing your rage is about releasing a lack of confidence that you can live in alignment with your intuition. You have the power to do that. You have the power to align body, mind, and soul. That's what's supporting you, is the centering energy from Great Mother. So yes, this second chakra energy, Vedic chakras, Sagittarius with that Jupiter. But I'm still going to say, because Jupiter rules the second chakra and it is in your sixth house, this is what I was trying to get to. Both of these are dealing with your daily life. And so in some manner, what do they call it? Debts, disputes, and diseases, the sixth house. And so with Great Mother, if we're talking about debts, of course, we're talking about karmic debts. And so it's a karmic debt, this contract, this seventh house energy with Sagittarius, this soul contract. We're talking about Jupiter amplifying this debt. We're talking about Jupiter amplifying the disputes that you may be having with your mom, amplifying the dis-ease in this situation, which all points to rage. And so the rage of this new moon, root chakra Aquarius new moon in the Vedic astrology, and Great Mother telling you to use this new lunar cycle to act in spite of there being mystery, knowing that there's a divine order to it all, is telling you that the reason that your soul wants to do this work is because it wants you to be familiar, to become more familiar with following the guidance and trusting the guardianship of the Christ consciousness. And the Christ consciousness is all about eternal grace and mercy. The Christ consciousness is the red letters in the Bible. It's the New Testament. The Old Testament is condemnation and judgment. It's the 10 Commandments and all of that stuff that has to do with very young human consciousness having to learn how to live in an agrarian society, not in a caveman society, and people having to get along. And so you have to have laws. But after you have laws and you can survive and you're cultivating food in communities, you want to evolve to having mercy in those communities. You want to evolve in having grace amongst one another, and that's what the Christ consciousness is about. And so we're still learning to do that. And this is why your soul wants you to embrace the law of mystery and divine order at this particular time, because it wants to activate the law of soul guidance and guardianship. Now, this is single yin energy, which means receive. So this is the card that is third quarter energy that releases any and everything that keeps you from traveling your yellow brick road. The Jesus card, the I card, integrity, Jesus card, they're all yellow brick road cards. Okay, the fourth suit in the deck, and the heart chakra, in other words. Okay. And so this all has to do with opening our hearts to more, to life beyond MDT. So this is why your soul wants to do this work. It wants to go to a life beyond MDT. A lot of times people don't do the healing work of MDT because at least we know the shame, blame, and guilt game of MDT. We don't know what that life beyond MDT is about. We don't know what love and detachment, all that stuff is about. Let me just go ahead and stay with what I know. This is how I know life is. But that's becoming too heavy even for people who in our own decisions would do. That's just becoming too much work, too much effort, too much pain to do. And so we are even now becoming willing to learn to live a law of ego-soul alignment, simply because the disease, the disputes, the debt, the karmic debt, it's just too heavy if we intend to remain living on this planet. It's just too much. Now, how your soul wants to do this work of embracing the law of soul guidance and guardianship is just by wilding out. It just wants to go ahead and go into the dark night of the soul and say, hey, no, I don't know what this divinity identity is about. Just like when Dorothy and the three left the castle and they had to go to the witch's castle and through that dark night, and that big old sign that says, haunted forest, I'd turn back if I were you. They went anyway because they had to get that broom. And you have to get that broom, Gemini, Cancer, Moon sign people. Cancer, my Lord, you download your intuitive wisdom from such a playful, energetic space. And when you try to convey that to others through that filter of that Western Cancer emotion, is so often misinterpreted. But have no concern about that this lunar cycle. This is new moon energy that's giving you permission to communicate your true self, your gut, in the most sincere ways as you can. Be direct, full disclosure, as lovingly as you possibly can, because this is throat chakra energy. The throat chakra is ruled by Mercury, which is in your 10th and 9th house. Mercury is in both Pisces in the Vedic and in the Western, so it's in the 10th house in your Vedic, and so that's having to do with your career, your reputation. But with Great Mother, of course, that's to do with your dharma, your life purpose, how you see yourself giving your gifts, your talents, and your abilities away. Is it honoring you? All of that internal self-assessment that Great Mother's wanting you to do this month. She's saying do it with abandon. Express yourself fully. Don't hold back. Own your higher will for your life, because you are being guided. You are being protected in this process of doing it, because you're being asked to trust the law of mystery and divine order. And as you do it, you're going to be shown. And you're going to be shown because there is a need for you to process this rage. And so do it. This is how your soul wants to do it. It wants to just be a little bit wilder. It wants to shake the edges a little bit. It wants to invite a little bit of mystery and a little bit of the unexpected, and so that it can peek into the divine order that's available to it to manifest this healing, to align body, mind, and soul, so that your final outcome is wellness. The full moon this month is in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. And so that's 10th, 9th house for you. Again, this career energy, and 9th house emotionally, that's spiritual. That has to do with, internal astral travel, your internal guru. This internal space that a light will be shown on this full moon. Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Pisces. Now, it will be by that time probably in Aries, but no, because it's going to still be retrograde. It's still retrograde. And so a lot of reflection, as you come out of this lunar cycle, and through your heart, this ego soul alignment, that's the crossroads between the ego and the soul, this heart energy, this Christ conscious energy of this kind of self-compassion and wellness. Everything being okay, everything as it should be, everything in divine order as you trust it as it is. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
Great Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.